Hello, ho, ho, and welcome to A Review for Christmas. My name is Chelsea.
And I'm Ariel.
And this is Miranda. She's our special guest for about 15 more seconds as she introduces the movie. Go ahead.
A Dog Walker's Christmas.
Great job. It's A Dog Walker's Christmas Tale. Can you even believe it? She hates me.
Yay!
Yay, Randy. Yay. Okay, goodbye. Okay. That was the most extra thing I've ever done.
It was awesome. It's what this show needed.
We needed to see the dog.
Yes.
What we need is
it's
more
a dog movie.
content. It is a dog movie. Actually, weirdly enough, it took her a very long time to react to any of the dog noises.
Oh, you know what? I wondered if at a certain point Bella was reacting. No, she wasn't.
She reacted the most when I think Hank was whining.
Oh.
When there were whines. When there were barks.
Dogs in distress.
Dogs, yeah, she's a savior. She has a savior complex. Miranda's insane.
Truly.
Anyway,
Yep.
let's talk about the movie.
Yep. Let's go.
The movie came out in 2015. Has a
That
runtime
tracks.
of an hour and 26 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It stars one of our absolute favorites, Jonathan Bennett.
The king.
Or as he was known prior to this podcast even starting, Eyebrows.
Oh, this is where it came from,
Yep.
too.
Yep. We fell in love with him through all of his Christmas movies. So he plays veterinarian hopeful. I was just going to say vet. Hopeful Dean Stanton.
I like the name Dean.
Me too. Dean's a good name.
Dean's a good name.
And then we have Lexi Giovagnoli.
That was a good one. Good job.
Thank you. Who plays Luce Lockhart. Not Lucy.
Not Lucy.
Not Lucinda. Not any other Luce.
There's a certain point in my notes where I went, oh my God, her name is actually Luce.
I mean, I assume it might be Lucy.
No, it's not. Because she says no, because he's like, Lucinda, and she's like, it's Luce.
Right. That could still be Lucy.
I'm going to look it up
But-
really quickly to see the credit.
Look at the credits on
Luce.
IMDb.
Luce
I
Lockhart.
mean, I know.
No, but
I'm
it's
just
not Lucy. It's not Lucy. It's Luce.
directed by Letitia.
Thank you for telling that.
Letia?
Letitia.
There's no. I don't know.
Letia?
Letia?
No, you're right. It wouldn't be Letitia.
I don't even know why I'm bothering.
We've never talked about a director ever.
It's just because I saw it was a woman, honestly, and I was like, oh, that's fun. Anyway.
Well, I mean, this movie. Oh, she did Redemption at Cherry Springs, another movie I didn't like. Okay.
Oh, there's a pattern.
There's a pattern.
I don't really recognize anybody else from this. Did you want me to talk about anyone before
I didn't recognize anyone. No.
Okay. I'm anticipating some nonsense.
Oh God, this movie is like that. I will say it's a Mar Vista.
It is a Mar Vista.
Which made me want good things, and then I had to remember, I think Mar Vista perpetually lets me down on movies. Does it?
Minus your absolute favorite.
Minus, exactly.
Spirit
So
of
it's like Spirit of Christmas. It's going to be amazing. But I don't know. Maybe it was just because I love Spirit of Christmas, but I thought that was going to be a good sign. It meant nothing.
No, I went to the goofs section.
The goofs and gaffs on IMDb.
Yeah, so there's the continuity and then factual errors.
Okay.
So continuity. After Dean introduces Luce to Cliff and they share Cliff's story about how he met his wife, she says, I'm sure Penny was a wonderful woman. At no point did they say her name. And then there's one, she's holding a coffee cup when she's not supposed to be and then not holding it when she has it and then holding it again. Whatever, who cares? Factual error.
Factual error.
The dog park is decorated for Christmas with poinsettias everywhere. Poinsettias are highly toxic to dogs and should be nowhere near them because they can be ingested easily. So there you go. And the top review that they have on here, poor movie. Okay. So
let's get into
get
that.
ready for how bad that rating is. I'm worried my scores are too high, but we'll figure it out because I didn't mean for them to be.
I might even you out.
Okay, good.
Great.
I mean, acting got. Okay, we open in an apartment, dorm room.
Do we know her from something, by the way?
Oh, yes.
We do?
We know her from, what's the movie called? The, Santa baby one. Where she's Santa's daughter and going to college.
Oh my God! The one with Ned's Declassified.
Yep.
Okay, I'll look and while you keep talking to them.
Christmas Cupid. It's not Christmas Cupid.
No. Christmas.
Yeah, I should have gone into
That's
that.
okay. That's okay.
Another movie that is arguably not very good, but very fun. You didn't have fun with it?
Oh, no. I liked that movie. It was not very good, but I had a really good time.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What is it called?
I'm looking.
I know, but I also want to look.
See, this is why we both can't have computers.
She's in one called 12 Dog Days Till Christmas. Loves
She's
the
really
dogs.
into dogs.
She's also uncredited in Crazy Stupid Love. I thought she was in this movie.
She's
Am I
in
wrong?
Pride, Prejudice, Cut, which I think is a different name. No, Pride, Prejudice, Cut.
Am I stupid? Is she not in the movie? I think I could have sworn she is in this one. Oh, guys.
Sweet gingerbread mixed with molasses.
What?
Sweet gingerbread, Santa Girl. It's called Santa Girl.
But is it not
not
her?
her.
Is it someone who looks like her?
Jennifer Stone, who was a nurse, but she was an actress. She was in Wizards of Waverly Place.
Do they kind of look alike? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I can see similarities.
Okay, so I'm sorry. That's not what we know her from. Hold, please.
Oh, God. I'm looking at clips from Santa Girl. That movie is a whole thing. His hair was cute. I'll give him that.
Anyway, we don't know her.
All that to say, no idea.
Actually, she's not the person I thought she was.
None idea.
Anyway, we start in her apartment, which is a college dorm room, completely decked out for Christmas.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Or college apartment complex, because she lives with her best friend.
That doesn't.
And they're in college.
Okay. Great.
She wakes up and she goes, 5 days till Christmas.
Yeah.
And then she goes to bug her roommate.
Yes.
And she's like, come with Wit and
Court
and come shopping with us. And her best friend, whose name I don't remember, is like, all they do is shop and gossip. And I was like, that sounds incredible. Count me in. I will be there.
It sounds like
why are you saying that like it's a bad thing? Anyway, that's our opening. That they're gonna go Christmas, like she's gonna go Christmas shopping. Yeah. We don't even, and that she loves Christmas. Like we don't even get introduced to the weirder parts yet. Quite frankly.
That's a good point.
Now we move to a different apartment. A very hot Jonathan Bennett is waking up. And that's exactly what I wrote. And we go back and forth between the two of them, and I start to wonder, are they going to fall in love?
You start to wonder. By the way, her skirt's hecka shiny.
Yes. So she's pulling out her outfit, and I was very concerned that the skirt and sweater combo was not going to look good, and it did. The blue with the purple,
it's 2015.
Oh, I have a comment about that. So she's brushing her teeth, he's brushing his teeth. She meticulously picks her clothes. He just grabs something out of his closet. We're like
classic. They're two different kinds of people.
Yeah, exactly. But with the same routine, apparently. So now she's shopping. None of them are wearing winter coats.
Oh,
but I think they're in California.
They're in Texas. So. Okay, here's how I know that. Because at a certain point in this movie, I went, no one's wearing a coat.
Yep.
And then they went to the coffee shop. And my sister yells out, Texas, because there's a sign on the front of the coffee shop that says Texas.
She might have been saying that San Antonio might be.
Oh.
I think okay, so that makes sense. But so none of them are wearing coats, which is fine. Except when the next time we see Jonathan Bennett, he goes up to an apartment and goes, so is it cold? Is it cold?
That's a goof. Put it on IMDb.
It made me angry, like irrationally angry. I was like, is it cold or is it not cold? You're kind of in jackets, but you're not in jackets or like in pea coats. And I was like, my understanding is Texas doesn't really get cold, but I could be wrong.
No, I mean, for them, maybe it was chilly out.
That's true.
But I don't know if it's chilly.
Anyway, do you have something to say?
I will say it when we get to the next store that they go to.
So they're shopping, and then they're looking at a window of a store with some jewelry, and she walks in, and then her friends realize that she's not with them. When they go in, she's talking to a guy, and I have no idea what she helped with, but he was like, it looks amazing. She's like, yeah, it's the rule of thirds. And then I'm like, I have no idea how much of this shit is improvised. It felt like a lot.
This was my comment.
Yeah.
I wrote, what is she doing in this store and what does it have to do with the rule of thirds? Is it window decorating?
It must be. Because I think there was only the necklace in the window and we needed at least the earrings, but that's only two things.
I thought there was a little like wrapped something and they needed to, I could not, it's the rule of thirds. And I'm like, is It didn't make, and right now I can make it make sense.
Sure.
Because it's showing that she might have some substance.
Well, it's interior design. We find out is her
Yes.
major, not just spoilers.
Which, by the way, I learned interior design and interior decorating. I put them together in one head.
Oh, they're different.
They're very different.
Very
and
different.
interior design takes like some real thought.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because it's borderline like
Yep.
change. You could, interior designers change the room and knock down walls.
When she like adds the atrium.
Yeah.
Also, I think I missed this, but when they're walking up to the shops, Jonathan Bennett passes by with Sweet Pea.
My sister yelled.
Yeah, we see them cross paths, but like,
and she gives
jumps away from the dog.
Ugh.
Like it's
And Zoe just yelled. She goes, "Wow, missing out on that fate." I was like,
Zoe, where are you? Come on the pod.
She was real verbal in this movie.
That's so good. Okay, so then her two friends buy the same necklace in different colors. They tell her she should buy the third, the ruby.
Because it's like one from her grandma.
It is like the one from her Gamera.
Gamera.
Did I say Gamera?
I said Gamera.
Crap. I'm okay. I promise. But just don't look at me, okay? No one perceive me. I'm wearing a hat for the first time ever on the pod, so I'm a different person today.
I really like that.
With my name on it. In case you forgot. So she's like, no, I'm here to pick up something else. Buys a watch. And the girls are like, ooh. And we get a random dog park scene. I don't think it's super relevant. We just see all
I didn't write it down.
All of our lead players of the dog park there. They're all interacting.
The dog four.
Yeah, the dog four. I only know the dogs' names. Moon Pie, Athena, Sweet Pea, and then I don't even know. Cliff just seems to be there without a dog. He must have a dog, right?
Cliff went to Nam. He's been through some stuff.
Okay. So, but we're kind of just establishing that. Oh, I think at that dog park, he might be examining one of the dogs, right?
Yes, he's vetting.
He's getting practice.
Yeah.
So now we're at a strange cafe. I don't know. It looks like a lunchroom almost. But she's with our lead, Luce, is with Derek, her boyfriend.
Yep.
Who doesn't know he's her boyfriend.
Oh my
so
God.
it's cringy.
It's so
uncomfortable. I wanted to pull an Ariel and hide myself in my own clothing.
There we go.
My skin was crawling during this scene.
Bad.
Which maybe that means they did a good job. I don't really know.
Maybe they sold it for as uncomfortable as it would be if you had this happen to you.
Because this would never happen to me. No, it probably has. Let's be real.
You bought a man that you were dating for 3 months
would never do
probably $1,000 watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. With your mom's money.
Yeah. Well, and he calls that out and he's like, don't you think it's weird to like buy each other gifts with our parents' money?
Ugh.
Oh God. Uncomfortable.
Oh God, it's so bad.
She was like, I think we do Christmas Eve at like your house and then Christmas Day at mine. And he was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, we've been dating for 3 months. He's like, we have?
Yeah, he does.
And she's like, well, we met on the 10th and then we went to this and then we did formal last month. And
if you did formal together,
look,
that's your girlfriend.
And he just says, you and I are very different, Luce. And that he's looking for a relationship with substance. And I think technically she dumps him. I mean, they weren't ever really together.
Because he says he's not into Christmas. And then she loses it. That's the final straw.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even like
into Christmas.
And she dips. So she goes back to the store.
She's a flavorful peppermint mocha.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and he's just black coffee with a little bit of Splenda to make you think it's sweet, tricking you. And so she runs back to the store, and they're like, we can't return or exchange this. And I'm like, are you serious?
I don't know how that's a policy. Like, this is one of your like best customers. She spends all her money here.
That's what I'm gonna.
And you're not gonna take back this watch?
Just give her the necklace. What are we doing?
Just trade it out.
Just
guys.
trade it.
It's a dumb policy.
So she's like, whatever, I'll buy it. Her card is declined. She's maxed out the credit card. Can't get in touch with her parents. Which we'll find out why later.
Big conflict.
Yep. But so she goes back. I wrote Lucy apartment. Maybe my everything says Lucy. Oops.
Well, for a long time, I thought for some reason everyone's calling her Luce and not Lucy.
Well, yeah, which would be fine if that's the nickname she wanted, but I think you might be right that it's her name.
It's her name.
It's a nickname. So she goes back to her own apartment and is packing up, and her best friend,
She has a wreath on her bedroom door, and I think that's top notch.
Let's do it. Let's put wreaths on our doors this year.
On our bedroom doors? Yep. Yeah, that's not excessive at all.
Apartment and bedroom. And so her best friend comes in and she's like, oh, like, was it not good? Like, are you okay? And she was like, we're broken up. And then she asks her best friend, do you think I have substance?
Oh my God. Don't do this to another human being.
Well,
also, why?
Could you imagine? Just say yes.
Just say yes.
It doesn't matter if you think the answer is no. You're her best friend. You say yes.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that she was like, well, you're good at things, like shopping. And it's like, phone it in, dude.
Well, also, if she's about to graduate with a degree in interior design, she has to have some sort of knowledge about something. But so she was like, well, you like shopping and...
He likes Kierkegaard.
Yeah, and Nietzsche. And she was like, I don't know what that is. And she's like, well, they're philosophers. And then I'm like, oh, the best friend likes Derek.
Yep, the best friend likes... And maybe that's why she doesn't want to say you have substance.
Well, and it's also the idea that, like, knowing a philosopher makes you substantial is so annoying.
Yes, I agree with you. I love you.
I know so many people with no substance at all that are like, well, Nietzsche says this. And I'm like, Nietzsche can f*** himself. Anyway.
You got that from Instagram, sir.
Yeah. You're sharing quotes on your timeline that might not even be anything he said.
Jim Carrey never said that.
So anyway, I was annoyed, but then her best friend somehow like Lucy's a dog with a 3-second Luce is a dog with a 3-second memory is like, should we go out? Like basically like manipulates her into forgetting that like she's a bad friend.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, I'll buy you some food or something. I don't know.
They go ahead and have pizza or something. Yeah. But so then we cut to Dean and he's bringing Sweet Pea back to his neighbor whose name I do not know.
No, I don't know either.
And she's like, it's payday. And he's like, no, like I couldn't. And she's like, you're doing me a huge favor. You got to help me out. So as he's giving Sweet Pea back, he tucks the money into Sweet Pea's sweater.
It's so cute. And I was actually, at this point, I didn't realize he's like a vet. I thought he was a dog walker too. I didn't realize he's just a dog enthusiast. So I was like, why is he not taking, because she says it's payday. I'm like, why are you not taking pay?
Yeah.
How
Take
do you
the pay
live?
on
like,
the day of the pay.
How do you survive, sir?
Well, I also was like, is this not his job?
I thought it was his job.
So boom, that happens. We established that like maybe it's not about a career for him.
Maybe he just loves Sweet Pea.
And so then we get to Luce's parents' house because she needs to go there and figure out why her card got declined.
Mansion.
Also, it's driving distance, so I don't know why you wouldn't just live at home. But I guess maybe her parents pay her rent.
Yeah, and she wants to be a big girl who doesn't live at home.
Sure.
Okay.
Maxing out her own parents, whatever. It's a mansion.
It's a mansion.
It's big.
It's big.
And then she walks in. It's like very sterile, not decorated. We hear guitar, and she goes up to her brother's room where he is playing guitar, not moving his hand at all. He's going like this. It's not plugged in.
He's laying on the bed, and he's just.
She's nailing it. That's exactly how I felt.
So good. This movie was just a bundle of laughs.
It really was.
That was one of those. Like, he's like, the guitar is like really going, and he's laying on his bed. Like, I'm practicing.
But like one hand, this hand never moves. He's doing this. This hand never moves. How are you changing chords? I don't know much.
And it's not plugged in, so it would just be like a lot of like.
Yeah, the dinks noise.
Like
the dink of the wire.
I'm trying to like click my earrings into it.
So her parents are in Botswana.
Yes.
For the entirety of Christmas at a charity event, so that's why she can't get in touch with them.
Yep, they are.
So she was like, hey, do you want to help me decorate the house? He's like, no, you're a dork.
I'm
Close the door.
This is where I wrote, oh, her name is actually Luce. This is where I figured that part out.
So she decorates the house alone, and I said, she does a pretty good job.
This is a lot of work. They had like a decorating room.
She's obsessed.
Filled with stuff.
Yeah.
And she's an interior designer.
That's true. It made me want to decorate my own home better. Like,
Chelsea,
that's how good.
Chelsea, you have a very decorated home as it is.
I know. I got to work on
decorating it better.
Like, just like even for the holidays. But there's no space.
A little more tinsel.
Would love some tinsel. Give me some garland. Then her neighbor, Missy Paxton.
Ooh, her name's Missy.
Missy Paxton comes over, and her brother was supposed to walk the dog.
Yes.
For the holidays as like a daily chore for money.
Yeah.
And he's not home because he went to band practice.
Yeah.
And so Missy's like, well, will you take care of Hank? And she's like, I don't know. And
she's like, no.
she's like adamantly against it. Missy's like, well, I'll pay you. And she's like, what do you, like, is there anything you want? And she's like, well, there's this ruby necklace at like whatever. And she's like, done. Like, you do this for me for the week. I'm buying you that necklace.
That's a trade, man. That is way more than an hourly wage.
Yep. Hands down. So now we're at the dog park.
Oh, really quickly?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know how to take care of a dog. And Missy's like, well, just run him around a bit. Tell him he's a good boy. Feed him. You know, like a man, really.
Yes.
And I LOL'd for a long time.
Missy equates dogs and men the whole movie.
It's
the whole movie.
And I'm usually not that person to laugh, but I was like, it was freaking awesome.
So funny.
It was so funny.
Yeah, Missy's great. I really like her.
Yeah, I like Missy too. She's actually one of the best actresses in the movie, and
she might be the best actress in the movie.
Yeah.
And then one of the friends I really like compared to the other one.
Oh,
between Court and Whit, I just don't know which one it is that I like.
Oh, I did not take too much notice of those two.
That's fair. So we're at the dog park. Jonathan Bennett is there. Dean. I kept writing JB because I'm a creature of habit. And we find out he's in vet school.
Yeah.
This is where we find out. We saw him doing the exam earlier, but he's in vet school. He sees a sign posted on a windmill. What the heck is it on?
It was like a tower. Like maybe it was an electrical tower. I do not.
Shouldn't be.
I don't know what it is.
Anyway, don't know what it is, but there's a sign on it saying that Paxton Enterprises is closing down the dog park as of December 24th.
Yeah.
Which is
to start a spa.
Probably 4 days away at this point because our opening was 5 days till Christmas, and I think she has had a sleep.
No.
Because, when she was going out she was going out in the morning to run after decorating the house.
Oh, okay.
So I believe we've had one sleep. So now Christmas is 4 days away.
4 days away.
4 days till Christmas.
I do remember her not counting. Oh, my God. You guys should really be watching this. So he's very upset about the day spa that's opening in place of the dog park. Yes, it's going to be a day spa. Which I was like, whoa, maybe they'll make it a dog spa.
Ooh, doggy day spa. And so Hank runs loose right into Dean. And this happened in such slow motion. I was like, this dog's not running. It's not running. I'm so sorry. Like, the dog is, like, walking at a normal pace, and she's like,
I can't even.
And he's like,
he
had so much time to move and just doesn't. Just stares at, and then he's like, whoa, and he goes to, like, help, but obviously they go down.
Collision. She lands on top of him.
Right on top of him, and she tells him to get off of her, and he's like, well, you're on me.
LOL.
Great. Impeccable. I think this is when he finds out that she's walking the Paxton's dog. Because I have, like...
I don't...
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because he's like, I haven't seen you before. And she's like, oh, I'm helping out my neighbors, the Paxtons. And he was like...
because then he's like, oh, I'm going to use you as a tool.
He's like, you need to help us.
Yeah.
Like, the Paxtons are going to tear down this park. And she's like,
so you're going to tell the Paxtons.
And she's like, I don't care. I want a day spa.
Yes, she wants a day spa very badly.
And so he then tells her everyone's story. One of the women, I think... went through a really bad divorce and has been fostering dogs ever since, trying to find the right one.
Poor single Lenore.
That's what I thought her name was, Lenore.
She needs the dog park or she will never meet a man.
Which, she hasn't met a man yet.
But every day she goes, I was crying with laughter during this.
She goes, every day.
It's like... She's going to one day. This is his evidence why you can't tear this park down, because Lenore will be single for life.
She'll never find love. And then B, whose dog
B.
Moon Pie, before she had Moon Pie, she was 280 pounds. And
B is
tiny.
I wrote down she's going to explode with fatness if we don't have this park.
So gross. So gross and so fat-shamey. So bizarre.
It was like, you get rid of the park.
And yeah, he's like, he was like, she was walking it twice a day. She'd like walk it 100 times and lost all the weight. And she's like, that's amazing. And she was like, I think that's fine. He's like, if it's gone, she's going to explode. And I was like... Oh, God. And so then we meet Cliff.
Oh, poor Cliff.
And poor Cliff, he's seen some things.
He's been to numb.
Him and his wife used to come here, and they carved their love initials.
Did they?
That's what it said. They said love initials. I put that in quotes. Into a tree, onto a bench. Not sure.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Basically, that he gives her everybody, and she's like, well, it's yours. He's like, none of your business.
None ya.
He literally says, none ya. And she's like, this isn't my place. I'm not, like, I'm just doing this for...
Which, rightfully so.
She's like, they're my employer, technically. Like, and he's like, you just got to give us an intro. And she's like, no.
Yeah.
I won't.
Also, like, rightfully so.
She's like, a day spa sounds great.
It's very weird to ask a total stranger to go against their boss because you guys have had experiences in a rundown dog park.
The amount that he asks her for help, having only known her for 10 seconds, is truly bonkers bananas.
Bonkers.
I do not know the woman's name. I have it up. Okay, the woman the little old lady, where is she? Mrs. Deegan.
Mrs. Deegan?
Miss Deegan.
Miss Deegan.
Who's 70 but looks 54.
Yeah, she's 70 years old, which, by the way, Miss Deegan has a wreath on her pantry door.
Look, we got to decorate where we can. So he's over there after bringing Sweet Pea back. She asked him to grab some cans, and so he's helping her load up for the canned food drive. And he's like, I just don't understand why she won't help us. Like, she works for the Paxtons. Like, she could really help. And Miss Deegan's like, seems like that's not all you care about. And he's like, it doesn't matter how hot she is. He says hot. Which, don't get me wrong.
She's very pretty.
She's very pretty.
But I would not say...
Hot's not the word I would use.
What's really funny is I was saying this, and I didn't write this in my notes, and I mean this in the just most analytical way possible. She's kind of weird casting for this character, in my opinion.
She doesn't give off money.
Like, she doesn't give off stupid in the same way as, like, okay, so I feel like they want, okay, we're stereotyping. If I was casting, I feel like they wanted, like, hot, dumb blonde. And they got cute.
Amanda Seyfried would have nailed that.
Yes, which they probably did not have that budget. But, like, it was just...
They had the in. He was Aaron Samuels. He was in Mean Girls with her. They could have figured this out.
That's a good point. I don't know. It's like they made her friends... I think what I would expect her to be.
Maybe that's part of it, is like she actually does have a lot going on in that big old brain of hers.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So when he was like hot, I'm like, did you write this for her? Or she's very pretty, and I don't want her to think she's not hot because
it was just the way he said it. I mean, he delivered the line perfectly because in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
But I was also like, what? You can just say she's pretty. You can say she's beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Why are we going hot? And then I asked why this woman had a Southern accent. We're in Texas. No one else has a Southern accent.
She's a Southern accent?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she wants him to seduce Luce.
Yeah, but he's like, best case scenario, she'll help us. Worst case scenario, she's a spy. And he has like a long-winded monologue or like sentence about how she could possibly be a spy and that there's hidden cameras all over.
Did you ever feel like you could see the pain on Jonathan Bennett's face in some of his lines? Like sometimes they're great, but sometimes I was like, I can even feel that he's like, I can't believe I have to say this line.
I did write JB is so wonderful.
He is great. He's doing his he's doing his best with what he has to work with here.
And so Miss Deegan says, well, maybe she needs someone to help her find what she's looking for. Okay. And now we see Luce and Hank are bonding. She's having a good time with the dog. Oh, yeah.
Every time you say Hank, I'm like, who is Hank? It's the dog.
Hank's the dog who looks perpetually wet.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a wet...
always looks wet.
Yeah, he's got a wet face. He's a very big, like, sheep dog, for those of you who need it.
For you guys who aren't watching.
And if you look at the cover, he's the middle dog, and the other two dogs aren't in the movie at all.
Yeah. They didn't even put Sweet Pea, who is in Jonathan Bennett's crook of his arm.
Yep, they put a Chinese crested instead.
I love that you know that.
Thanks to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I saw one in the wild. By that, I mean like on a leash, domesticated, walking down the street. When I was with one of my friends, we're in the car, we're driving, and I was like, oh my God, it's a Chinese crested.
Those dogs.
Yeah.
They're a whole thing, man.
Princess Sophia is what she names it. It's so good. Oh my God, that movie is so good. Let's review that. Is that a book?
What is it from?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, Princess Sophia. I remember that.
And then they changed it to Crawl the Warrior King.
I saw that in theaters.
I could watch that movie every day. Okay, sorry. So now we're at Luce's house. She wakes up 2 days till Christmas.
Yeah, we've really cut through the days.
Which means the park is closing tomorrow, by the way. Just for the full record. It's Christmas Eve. The park is supposed to be closed December 24th. I thought it was 26th, but I'm pretty sure the next time we see the sign, it says the 24th.
I believe you.
Her brother is missing in action.
Always.
And I wrote, little Luce is a little lonely.
little loose,
Little Luce is a little lonely. And I think her brother left her a note where he called her a dork. And I really love that word is like so solidified in their sibling vocabulary. And then we're at the Paxton house. She's picking up Hank, and they're looking at the blueprints for the spa. And Mr. Paxton is like so stereotypical dumb movie business.
Oh, yeah.
He also kind of has like a raspy little voice, which is
like
funny.
A mafia feel.
Yeah, he seems like he needs a cigar hanging out of his mouth. But she's like, oh, can I see? And he's like, what? What do you know? You're also, the dog. And he doesn't know who she is, even though she's been his neighbor like her whole life.
We're going to get to that part where he fully is like, who are you? It's like, dude, every time
his ending bit was so funny.
But every time he sees her, he's like, I don't know you.
And then instead of Missy being like, it's the Lockhart's kid, she's like, well, she's walking Hank. And I'm like, no, you've known her whole life.
Yep.
And so she takes a peek in, and she's like, well, what's going on? And he's like, you wouldn't know. And then Missy is like, no, like, we're having an issue where the way it's facing, the sun is going to be like blaring into the day spa. The sun's going to be blaring into our poor receptionist's face, and it's going to get hot in there. And she's like, what you do is you build an atrium. You do 2 doors, and then you like have the atrium collect all the sun, and then people walk. And then she like also gives some advice on where something else should go. And then they're like, oh, and then she leaves.
She has substance.
She's got substance.
She's got substance.
Well, substance.
I still want to know why they didn't just make a dog spa. That's not revenue producing.
Could be.
A dog spa?
I think it's a rich neighborhood.
Good point. But
though I don't think the people frequenting that dog park are particularly
into the dog spa.
Into rich. into
rich.
Being rich. They're not into it.
They're not into being rich. Some of us are into it. Some of us aren't. For some,
I'm not into it. That's why I look like this.
I'm very into it. So I have no excuses.
So we get to the dog park. Dean is talking to Lenore about dating, encouraging her to keep her current foster dog. I don't know.
So she can get men. It's her
Athena will help him get men.
Yeah.
Her get men.
And him get
men.
And
him, maybe.
It's Jonathan Bennett, so.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he was out at this point. I don't know. So she walks up, and Dean's like, hey, Lucifer. And she's like, oh, real creative. Like, did it take you long to come up with that? And he was like, 4 hours. It would have been 3, but I took a lunch break. And I'm like,
yes, I know.
I'm like, you're funny, but you're mean.
I love the line. He says something. She like calls him out for making fun of her.
Yeah.
And he goes, it makes me feel better about all my shortcomings. By the way, Jonathan Bennett was not out at this point.
Spicy.
Well, not out for the public to see. Right.
So then they're talking about her major in college. He's like, let me guess, shopping. And all of them make her sound like vapid and stupid. And she's like, it's actually interior design. And you see his brain break.
Yeah, right.
And she's like, oh, you're trying to figure out how to make fun of me, aren't you?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, and it's not working. And
also,
so,
like, why doesn't she like him? He's so cute.
I know, man. I think that's the problem. She probably kind of does. She keeps coming back.
She just keep coming back.
So what's so funny is she's very much like pro day spa.
Yeah.
But he's like, why do you keep coming back here? She's like, oh, it's the only place to take Hank. And I'm like, so
then you need
why do you want Hank's life to be worse?
If it's the only place to take Hank.
Sounds like the dog park is a necessity. So she asks him again. She's like, well, I know everybody else's reason, but like, what's yours? And I think this might be where she makes an offhand comment about getting a pedicure right as Cliff walks by.
Oh, she makes...
It happens at one point, and...
Yeah, she makes some...
He, like, goads her into it.
She
says something sassy about, like, well, now I'll be able to get a mani-pedi whenever I want.
Instead of being at this park, yeah.
Yeah, and then right as Cliff is walking by, again, with no dog, I think.
No, Cliff does not have a dog with him. So I wondered in the beginning if he had one, because for the second half of the movie, at least, no dog for Cliff.
No.
Cliff's seen things.
Cliff and Lenore should just date. I think there's an age difference, but who cares at this point?
Chelsea, you're not allowed to say who cares at this point. Age difference is such a big deal for you.
I know, good point.
You would be like, oh my God, they're dating? You would make such a big deal if those two
throw up in my mouth
got
a little
together.
Bit. So then they go to get a coffee. Even though they're having all these fights, they go to get a coffee.
He follows her.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He follows her.
She's like, why are you following me? He's like, I'm not following you.
I'm getting ice cream.
He's feet behind her, and she's like, well, I'm getting coffee. He's like, well, I'm getting coffee. Like, you're actually following
And then
her.
they can't let the dogs inside. He's like, no problem. And leaves her with the dogs. And Sweet Pea, we've established, doesn't really like her very much.
And this is where we see the sign for Texas, by the way.
Got it. That's how we know we're in Texas.
Yeah, Sweet Pea I love how much Sweet Pea's like, every time.
Little dogs are vicious, man.
Look, I know, I had one.
We had Toby.
We had Toba. Little Toba.
Put a picture of Toba here.
Oh, my bean dip. If I have one where he doesn't look sad. All of my pictures of Toba, he looks sad.
He was kind of a sad old man.
You know,
he's the cliff of dogs.
Crusty old man for his whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I support it.
We love
Toby. Only nice things to say about Toby. So he goes in to get the coffee. Luce says to Hank, if she moves, eat her. Sweet Pea. And then her bestie Becky walks out.
Roommate,
with Derek.
Which,
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And so they're like, hey, what are you doing? And Derek's like, when did you get dogs?
Derek, you suck.
He's like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, when he said that, I was like, it doesn't matter, dude. You didn't date her. You apparently weren't dating her for an entire 3 months.
You
took her to formal, but you don't know who she is. So maybe she's always had dogs.
So then JB, Dr. Dean.
Oh, yeah.
Comes out wired up.
He's
like,
dude, this character's like ADHD skyrockets in half the scenes he's in.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening. He like comes out with the 2 coffee cups, and he's like, they didn't have regular coffee, but they had this peppermint mocha thing, which is like, seasonal, like a very normal season. And he's like, also like, I had a bunch while I was waiting, and he's like, so, and then they're like, who's this?
Yeah, jealousy. And
at this point, she has said that she's like spearheading the initiative to like save the dog park, or she starts to. And then she's like, right, isn't that what I'm doing? And he's like, yes, it is. And he was like, she said all of these things. Luce, remember saying this? Remember saying you would do this? Remember saying you were going to help me with that?
Okay, there's a certain point in this taught-along that he has where he like says something about her having substance or something, but he puts it in air quotes. And I'm like, are you simultaneously complimenting and insulting her?
Oh, yeah, he negs the shit out of her. It's horrible. Yeah, he's like, yeah, Luce has a lot of substance. And I was like,
what? Dude.
I don't even think he knows that dude broke up with her saying that. So, like, how rude are you?
Know.
Like, holy crap. And I just wrote, he's realizing that she's lying, but jumps in to, like, save her from being like, you're a liar, I guess.
Yeah.
And also, maybe to like lock her into it, be like, no, you have to.
I think so too. Which she's perpetually trying to do.
And I wrote, this movie is so bad and uncomfortable.
it's really
so
bad.
uncomfortable.
This movie doesn't. I think one thing that the listener who's never seen this movie will not be able to comprehend is that the best way to describe this movie is cringe.
Oh, so cringy.
It's nonstop.
Every
cringe.
scene did something where I felt like my insides were trying to be my outsides.
Yes, one of my favorite phrases.
Like, I was like, okay. So now they're walking. She's agreed to help.
Yeah.
She sees a sign. This is where she's holding the coffee, then not holding the coffee, then holding the coffee.
Ah, the goof.
So she's like, oh, a festival of lights. We should do a festival at the doggy park.
Yeah.
To raise money?
To raise money for it.
Or to like make it seem relevant to the community?
I know
Unclear.
It's about relevancy. I know that they want to stick in people's minds.
They're like, the dog park will be so missed.
Yeah.
Let's put up a bunch of poisonous plants.
For the dogs. If you kill them all, they won't be there anymore. And we don't need the park.
Yep.
Spa day. Actually, she is a spy.
Yep. This was her grand master plan. It's being torn down in a day.
Dude, straight up. The deadlines are nuts.
So now we get a fun montage of them getting the dog park ready. And everyone's looking at them, hoping they'll fall in love. She's on the ladder doing like the final ornament while everyone else is just looking up at her. She's like the spring fling queen.
It was so great because they're all just watching in this like little cube. And they're like, oh, it's so bad.
She's the queen of Christmas.
I love you so much, Jonathan Bennett. You deserve all the fame you have now for the work you put in then.
Absolutely. And you deserve the fact that you are getting romances of your preferred gender.
You've put
Congrats
in the work.
to you.
Good job.
We love you, eyebrows.
We love you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're past the montage. We go to the Paxton house.
Yeah.
Because she's agreed to take Hank for the evening. because they're going to go on a little like walking date.
Oh, yes.
And I wrote Lady Paxton. Because at this point I didn't know her name.
I like it.
Lady Paxton bought her a dress. She was out shopping. She's like, I saw this dress and thought you should wear it to my party.
Which I thought was
and
presumptive.
She was like, Mrs. Paxton.
Guessing
and she's
her
like,
size.
Missy. And that's when I was like, Missy.
Missy Paxton.
I mean,
no.
rich people are all a size 2. We know that.
I know, it just felt assumptive. I bought you a dress. I was like, because I went through my perspective where I went, oh yeah, did you really guess that I was an XL? Did you go there? Like, did you buy me a medium and now I can't wear it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Missy.
And then I wrote, what about the necklace?
What about the necklace, bro?
Just give me the necklace. Also, I think at this point she's told Jonathan Bennett about the necklace, or she's about to in the next scene.
I don't remember if it's happened or it's going to, but I remember him just being like, you need that necklace because it's like your grandma's.
Crazy about it. He was crazy about it.
I was like,
and I was like,
this feels excessive, but okay.
You don't have money.
I know it's supposed to be poor. And he's like, you've got to get that necklace.
And we have one of the things I liked that this movie did was every time they were getting ready, we got to see shots of both of them.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a fun little circling back. And they're both getting ready and struggling. Her so more than him because he's a guy. So they just throw on a flannel and get to look like Jonathan Bennett. But she's like has these dresses and she's like, this one's too diva, this one's too that. And so then she ends up in like just jeans and a blue top and
it was such a
crazy old lady blazer.
A deviation.
Yeah. But Hank approved.
Hank did like it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Dean probably liked it too.
She does look good in blue. So they get to the dog park and it looks very festive. I was like, oh, this is cute.
It did.
She finally gets Dean to talk about his reasoning for why the dog park is so important to him. And I should not be laughing.
I know. I had the same.
Really shouldn't.
I was laughing and I was like, stop laughing.
But he was just like, none ya biz. Like before he was just like, it's private. Like it's nothing to do with you. Like you don't deserve to know. And he goes, well, I'm dyslexic, which means I have a hard time reading. And for people who maybe don't know what dyslexic means, cute. Thank you. And he goes, whenever I'd get frustrated, like during my exams, I would come here and like I instantly just felt better. And he's basically like, this dog park has like
got him through his exams,
got me through my dyslexia.
I yelled out. I was like, he's Percy Jackson.
Does Percy Jackson have dyslexia?
He has dyslexia.
I didn't know that.
That's part of the thing is he has dyslexia. And I just finished reading
Does it matter when you're a god?
That's the whole thing. He has it because he's a half god.
Understood.
Because he really should be speaking Greek. So it's hard for him to read English. The letters float off the page. All the half gods have dyslexia.
Is it dyslexia or is it?
It's dyslexia.
Okay.
And ADHD.
Great.
They have both of them.
Cool. Is that the human side of them that gave it that?
It's the God side of them.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, because they've got all this energy.
Man, I kind of want to read those books.
Hey, we could cover them on a different show.
That we will pitch at a later date because it doesn't have a name.
One day.
One
it's
day.
Gonna have a day.
It will have a name, guys. We're making a new show. Get ready.
January.
All 12 of you.
You guys are strong, though. 12
You're
is also
resilient.
the fact that there's even 12.
A cool dozen. So I think the park looks very festive and very fun.
Yes. It's very festive. And actually, I thought this was the party for the park. And I was like, no one's there. You guys shouldn't be proud of yourself.
When they were doing the montage of them getting ready, they do show Bee and Moon Pie like cooking, like dog treats. But then I think she takes a bite of one.
Oh,
or maybe it's...
Which one?
Bee is the woman who will explode if she doesn't have the dog park.
I know she was cutting
She'll
carrots.
become a fat lady.
Well, fat
My
fatty.
God, I hated that so much.
Really
I was like, I'm
rough.
sorry, is the worst thing a person can be overweight?
Well,
like
it was followed by the worst thing that can happen is to be single. So it was just like
this movie hates you.
2 accounts.
Yeah, so I think she was making like healthy snacks or like healthy dog treats
straight
maybe.
Jonathan Bennett would have loved me.
Straight Jonathan Bennett would have loved you.
Dean would have been on my...
Oh, that's true. Actually, you might have too
everything.
much substance for him.
I do have a little bit too much substance for him.
You would be 2 on his level.
I
You
would
guys
be-
would have one sip of coffee each and be like, and you both have eyebrows.
Oh my... Thank you. We do all have eyebrows. So... Jonathan Bennett, if you know someone like you, but like me, let's go.
Hey.
Hey. What did I just say?
I don't know. So they get back to Luce's house. They're talking, and then they both realize that they love the Home Alone movies.
Oh, God,
They decide to marathon them.
Home Alone marathon.
Yep. And Sweet Pea crawls into Luce's lap.
Oh, my God. It was the best moment of the whole movie.
I know.
Sweet Pea Low Growler was
and she does I love it when you are so
so scared.
we're not gonna move.
Yeah, it's like if
we're gonna let the animal make its choice.
If Toby went near you, you'd be like, is he gonna bite me?
Is he gonna give me a kiss? Is he gonna give me a nibble? So Sweet Pea finally likes her.
Yeah.
They fall asleep on the couch together. Her brother walks in on them. I don't remember what he says,
Probably
but he says something, and then they wake up and they're like, "Oh, like good night," and he's like, "Good morning."
Yeah.
And so then no, I think they say good morning. He's like, "Oh, good night."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so they decided to take a moonlight
stroll, which I was like, why? But cute, but why? But then it's Texas, so it's probably nice out.
Yeah. Well, so the dogs get them all tangled up, and they fall. And then he's on top of her this time.
Yeah, and he goes for it, man.
And they kiss.
They do.
Dean is smitten.
Dude, he's in love.
In love.
And this was
with
actually
this blood traitor.
I know, right? I thought that scene was actually weirdly, even though it's awkward, it felt like kind of real.
I mean, it's what happens in 101 Dalmatians when Anita and Roger meet.
Oh, that's cute. But like her being like, we shouldn't have done that, and him being like, no, we should have. It was the right thing.
And he's like, and we should do it more, probably.
Yeah, I was like,
and she's like, I'm gonna go, and he's like, not like one more, no.
I was like, this is actually weirdly real.
Yep. No, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she wakes up in her bed, sees a text from Dean, and she's like, Hank, want to go for a walk? Uh-huh. And so they're going for a morning, and she's like so excited. And he's like, oh, the festival's gonna be so great. And she's like, oh, well, I won't actually be there. Like, I'm gonna be at the Paxton's Christmas Eve party.
Yes, she will.
And he's like, what do you mean? Blood traitor.
Oh my gosh.
In his mind, her going to that party means she no longer cares about the park.
Yeah.
That's the like, straw man argument. That's the equivalent. Done. He's like, yesterday I wanted to kiss you 80 times. Today, only once. I still will kiss you. I'll be mad, but I'll kiss you. You know?
You know that mood.
You know.
Two
Deans inside my head. So she's like, if I'm there, like they're my employers. Like, I think that's a weak argument. I don't know if they don't, Mr. Paxton doesn't even know who she is.
That's a good point. Missy Paxton, though, I think it's about the necklace.
It is about the necklace.
She doesn't show up. She doesn't get her necklace.
And she's also, actually, better point. It's her career. Her career is in buildings
and in that town. And
she's like, he's the most well-known developer. This could ruin my life.
Yep.
He could essentially like blackball her, right?
Yeah.
It's called blacklist. Put blue and blacklist together.
I think blackball's a word. Yeah, blackballed is to reject somebody. To be blackballed is to
I think I meant blacklist though.
Yeah.
But he can essentially
do all of those things.
Maybe not blue baller, but that might need to get jingled. I don't know how we would handle that.
Well, I'll Snapchat you to ask you because every time I need to jingle, and I'm making a list, guys, of what words get jingled. What
we jingle jangle. And he says to her, tough choices are never easy. You're picking a party over the park.
Oh, I was so annoyed at him because I'm like, just because it matters to you that much doesn't mean it matters to her.
I just wrote, dang, at the end. I was like, dang.
Perfectly summed up.
I was like, yes, it's that. Is it that serious in the long run? Like, I know, but like, no, there's other dog parks. The fact that they're like acting like there's not a single other dog park. Also, realistically, dog parks aren't great places to go.
Really?
Oh my God. There are like irresponsible dog owners all over. You never know if someone's bringing their like unvaccinated dog who can give your dog a host of other diseases.
Oh, wow.
They can get hurt. It's like truly and honestly, I've brought Miranda to a dog park twice, and one of them, they're one of the most aggressive dogs I've ever seen, and the owner was just like, Ash, stop. And I was like, your dog's gonna get murdered. by another dog.
Dear Lord.
Or it's going to murder another dog.
I would never attempt to bring either of my dogs to a dog park. They would not survive. The other dogs would not survive. I would be a menace. My neighborhood is starting, they put up signs, they're bringing back the neighborhood dog walk. So apparently in my neighborhood, people walk their dogs in like a pack.
I want to do that.
Isn't that cute?
Yes, I love that. Oh, I'm going to pitch it the next council meeting. So now we're at Luce's house, and she's getting ready for the party. I really like the red shade of her lips.
It's very pretty on her.
It's very becoming.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good.
That's
great.
the scene.
Great.
And Dean is taking Sweet Pea and Miss Deegan
over
to the park.
Yep.
And them eyebrows were eyebrowing.
Dude, they were there.
Yeah, they were there.
I wonder if he gets them plucked now. I'm going to look it up while you keep talking.
So now we're at the Paxton house.
No. He does not pluck his eyebrows now.
Is that what he said? Or you just looked at him now and they're still eyebrowing?
I think they might have been filling them in for this movie.
Maybe.
Nope, they're still pretty thick.
They're thick. He's got thick eyebrows. That's okay.
That's all right. As do I. It's part of the vibe. So does Cara Delevingne at one point? I don't know if she still does.
So here's where it was peak 2015 for me.
She still does.
Their fancy going out clothes are like unbelievably 20. Like the dress that she's in is like, you could wear it to an office function. It's so, and so that was like peak 2000s, like 2011 to 2015 was like, somehow you're wearing like business wear to a club. So it's like business, but make it slutty.
There was some, I think her friends were kind of prommy.
Yeah, but like girls are going to the club in the biggest platforms you've ever seen and a blazer.
It's a good point. What?
And a statement necklace. Never forget the statement necklaces.
Oh my goodness.
And so her friends are trying to cheer her up, and Hank has been banished to the crate.
I know he's in a crate.
Poor Hank. And Mr. Paxton finds out that there's the dog party happening, and he's pissed. And Missy's like, let them have their fun.
Yeah, Missy's chill.
Missy's like, just let them do it. Like, who cares? And he's like, no, like, we're going over there. And
Missy says men get so territorial, they start barking and running around in circles, and you just got to rub their heads.
Again,
basic. They're dogs.
Very much men are dogs is the moral of this. And, actually, when that was the funny part. When Luce introduces her friends, she's like, green, blue, red, your necklace. Oh. And she like runs to give her the payment, but that's when everything blows up.
I really liked what she was wearing also. Her pearls
Missy?
were definitely fake, but
yeah,
I really liked the concept of the outfit.
Yeah, so
Missy.
They're about to leave, and Luce just starts singing like "Deck the Halls" or whatever.
My God, because she's trying to distract him.
But she just starts singing, and nobody jumps in.
I became the couch. Me in the couch, like when that
we
started
became one.
Yeah, it was awful.
So crazy. And then she calls to warn Dean.
Yes.
She's like, heads up.
He's chill. He like picks up. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he picks up and he's like, I'm sorry. I've been such a jerk.
He says
and she
jerk
was like,
a lot.
And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, aren't you calling to yell at me more? And she's like, we'll talk about that later.
We're breaking up later.
Are we dating? I don't know. So she calls and he ends the phone call by saying, thank you for warning me.
Yes. It was very good.
And I was like, so now we're at the park. There's a band playing at the park. Whoever could it be?
Who could it be?
It's her brother.
It's her brother?
It's her brother's band. And she's like, I thought you had a gig tonight. And he was like, my sister needed me. And I was like, she's not even here. And then this is where I wrote, Mr. Paxton's voice is wild.
Oh my God. I said this scene is like a mob boss.
He's like coming through, I'm going to bulldoze this place.
Yeah.
It's not what he sounds like. So she walks up with Missy because Missy's like, let's go and bring Hank.
Yeah.
They still go. And so she walks up with Missy and Dean goes, you look beautiful. And he's like, woman I've never met.
But who is also pretty.
And Missy is just like, thank you.
They are nice here.
She's like, oh yeah. She's like, they are nice. And then her friends are like, who's he? He's really hot. One says adorable, one says hot. And I was like, both are correct.
Perfect word choices.
10 out of 10 here. then her best friend and Derek are there. And she's like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, well, we came to support you.
Yes.
Like, we loved that you had a cause that you cared about. We came to, like, see it for ourselves and give you support. And then Becky's like, I'm not going to date him. And she's like, no, you should.
And then Becky starts like crying. Like,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Which
Yeah.
I bet Becky was like me and just having anxiety attacks all day long.
I mean, I don't know if I'd want to date the guy who was like, I'm dating someone.
Oh, I would definitely make excuses
Yeah.
for
him.
him.
Okay.
I would be like, oh, I like him. So now I'm going to give you every reason why he's not a bad guy.
Right. That's true.
Absolutely.
Good point. So now there's a standoff between the dog parkians.
The Dog Park 4.
The Dog Park 4 and the Paxton 7. I don't know. There's only like two of them.
3 of them. He
The
has
Paxton
2 bodyguards.
3.
The Paxton 3 and the Dog Park 4.
Yeah. As they're like talking and trying to figure it all out, Derek walks up and is like,
Great job.
great job, Luce. Like, you did such a wonderful job here. And Missy's like, what do you mean?
Traitor.
And Paxton's like, what do you mean? And
Oh
so
my God, this was so much.
she has to like fess. And they're like, well, I thought you were a committee member. And the guy's like, I thought you were a dog walker. Who are you?
Yes, because I thought you were a dog walker, Lucinda. And she's like, it's Luce. He's like, who are you?
It is so good. And then she runs away.
Yes, she does.
And Missy comes over, and I was like, to give her advice, maybe? Like, I was like, what's Missy's role
What's her
here?
deal? She's a fairy godmother? I don't know, man.
I don't remember why I wrote this, but I don't think we're there yet, so we'll leave it.
Okay.
Missy basically sits down and talks to her, and she's just like, I really think the dog park matters to so many people. And she's like, well, I understand that, but she's like, but Mr. Paxton like really only understands money. Talk to me about money. And so she's like, well, if we kept the dog park, what we could do is in this corner that's unused, we could put up a really fancy coffee station. And she's like, and, you know, this park is so old, like I'm sure some veterans would write letters and it could become a historical landmark. Not sure how war vets would change the fate of a dog park, but then Missy's like, oh, so it'd be tax exempt.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I think like in 10 years you could make what you want plus double. And she's like, that's probably 7.5.
Yep.
And she's like, what do you? And then at one point we're like,
What?
why does Missy know so much? Missy's the CEO.
Yep.
Paxton is all bark and no bite.
Aha.
Because Missy's actually in charge. That was like the fun little
twist
reveal that they
she
did.
She has substance.
Yeah, and so exactly. It's the same thing. She's not just a
pretty
lady
face.
who shops and doesn't walk her own dog.
Yep.
And so she's like, cancel the bulldozing, boys. We're going to go with the coffee shop plan. And she's like, and you two are going to spearhead it.
Yeah.
You better be ready. And I'm like, well, he's going to go be a veterinarian.
Yep.
My dream job when I was 10 years old. Yeah. And then I wrote, is this movie sponsored by Peppermint Mochas?
Oh my God, I know.
Because at one point they're like talking about, I think they have them at the festival. I think the coffee shop they talk about having.
She calls herself a peppermint mocha, and
Yep.
I wrote, this movie's obsession with peppermint mochas really speaks to me.
I mean, like
They're my
same.
favorite.
Same.
I love them.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I like them more than pumpkin spice.
I was waiting to see if you were going to say that because they are my pumpkin spice.
Right.
You know,
No,
when
I
it goes to
think-
fall, I become peppermint mocha. Like is
Yeah,
my blood.
I think a peppermint mocha is a top tier
Yeah,
kind of drink.
I love it.
I mean, that's basically the end. I don't know if they kiss again. I can't remember.
I don't
think they do.
Think they do, but Jonathan Bennett has the cutest smile.
Oh my God, I know.
That's my last line. Jonathan Bennett has the
He's
cutest
so
smile.
precious.
Someone says, "No, you wowed me," or "You wowed me." I don't know.
I
who
think
says it.
Missy says that to
No,
them.
I wrote it, and that's it. I don't know why, but at that point, I had been laugh crying for the last hour and a half. So
Yeah, I forgot one thing.
Oh.
So Missy gives her the gift card.
oh my God,
Like a Visa gift card with the equivalent of the
ruby
necklace.
necklace.
And so he's like, we got to get to the store. We got to get that necklace. And he's like, oh, it's probably closed and it's closed tomorrow because it's a holiday. And she's like, we can just do it online. He's like, oh my God, yeah. And so he's holding up the card while she like is, and he's like, he's like, how are you doing that so fast? And I was like,
Oh, sweet God.
she's a rich girl. Like,
But
she's
also,
a girl.
but also,
It's just text. It's just looking up something. It's typing. He's like, you're doing it so fast.
But he's correct. Because she buys him an airplane ticket.
Well, yes.
She bought him an entire airplane ticket in that short amount of time. 30 seconds.
Yeah, she's like, you can pick it up tomorrow. And he was like, tomorrow, like, will the store even be open? She's like, well, you're going to the airport. Like, you're going home.
Yeah, I'll be here when you get back.
I'm not crying. You are. I'm worried you're not going to like my scores.
I'm worried you're going to think my scores make a lot of sense. Keep going. I don't know if you'll like my cheer score. Last episode, tree trimming almost knocked us down a whole point.
I was going to keep my score the same no matter what.
I know, just 10 felt really... Did I keep 10? I think I did.
You did. You kept it 10.
So what'd you give cheer?
I gave it an 8.5, but I think that's incorrect. But I really liked the decorated house.
Yep.
There were wreaths everywhere.
Did they do cookies?
Well, they did the like healthy cookies that Bee made in the montage.
Okay. Did they do Santa?
They did not do Santa.
Did they do carolers?
Well, she sang.
Did they do Christmas sweaters?
I don't know, but that's never really been something I've factored into a cheer point before.
I'm just trying to come up with some stuff.
Right, no, I know. Well, they decorated the whole dog park.
They decorate. I think they decorate.
Yeah.
It's a lot about decorating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could the movie happen outside of Christmas?
Absolutely not.
I agree with you. She does count.
5 days till Christmas.
5 days. Christmas is important. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna go a little lower though.
I'm gonna bump mine a teeny bit to be a little less jaded.
How jaded was yours?
6.
Okay, I think I'm going down to a 7.
I was gonna go to a 7.
Okay. I don't know where to go from here. Let's go to plot.
I gave it a 7.
Gave it a 7.5.
I wrote in quotations a direct quote from my sister. This plot has substance.
Well,
and I thought the conflict was a little dumb.
Dumber than the last one? Dumber. I mean, the conflict is always one person will never say what they truly feel. Like, what?
But this one, the conflict was she won't pick her job over the dog park.
I mean,
it is better than...
I won't tell you about the celebrity magazine.
The conflict.
I almost want to go higher because if the baseline for these movies is like small town bad, big city bad, small town good, lady goes to a place and like to me that's like the baseline. This is totally different than that.
I don't know any other Christmas movies about dog parks.
Hi. I don't either. Well, there's the 12 Puppies of Christmas. Which we've never seen.
We have never seen 12 Puppies of Christmas.
And there was also...
Isn't there one where it's that you really liked, that you were crying about?
You got to be more specific.
It was a dog movie. Was it a Hulu dog movie?
No. Oh my God.
Maybe, no.
The actor who plays her brother is in a movie called 12 Dog Days of Christmas.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my God. She's in this, but as a different character. She's Blair.
Oh, he's a main character. It's her actual brother, by the way.
Her real life one?
Her real life brother.
Oh my God, you're right. That's why they're probably all in these movies together.
But
he's sent to an animal rescue over the Christmas season. I think I've seen this, actually. I think I've seen this and I liked it.
That's really funny. The photoshopped cover is pretty spectacular.
Yeah. How many of these dogs do you think are in this actual movie? Yeah,
they
I've
have
seen
one of
this
those dogs, the
Chinese
Sophia's,
crested.
yeah.
Kroll, the warrior king. Anyway, I don't know how many movies have revolved around dogs. I'm going up to an 8. I'm doing it.
Wow. You can put me at a 7 to be nice.
Okay. I'm going to go to romance.
You're not going to like my score.
Okay, that's fine.
I gave it a 6.
Shysta.
It was a friendship to me. I'm just like, I don't know. It just wasn't... Their moments of romance were not... I don't know.
I gave it a 7.
Nice.
It's not like I was like,
whoa. Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of like... They seemed like best buddies. He said she was hot. Best pals.
He did say she was hot.
But I can say you're hot. That's fine. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to make a further point, but I'm just going to leave it at that.
I can't do math.
Did you get acting?
No, we're going to end on acting.
Okay.
I gave it a 5.
You gave acting a 5? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's kind. I gave it a 6.
Oh, okay.
I like Jonathan Bennett.
I do too. He's the reason I gave it a 5.
It's so funny that we have an out of 10 score. It really should be a show that's out of 5 because we never go below 5. I think we did once.
I think we have a...
On Cheater.
Oh, yeah. We've had some movies get some low cheer scores. Okay, so I'm a 6.75.
Okay.
You're a 6.5.
Oh.
I gotta keep doing math. Dog Walker's Christmas. Oh, yeah. She sings again at the dog park when things get awkward.
God.
I forgot about that.
I don't know why they made that a character trait.
6.625.
6.625. So this movie is rated higher than Christmas Prince, too.
Look, Christmas Prince is not good.
No, they're not.
And Christmas Prince suffers from not having Jonathan Bennett.
It's a good point. If they had Jonathan Bennett, it would have been fine.
An 8.
Any other close ones? Beat Noel Diary.
That's
Happiest Season. It's at the bottom tier. It might be in the bottom 5.
That's fine. That makes sense. That's where it belongs.
I think where it belongs.
I think it's very fun. I had a lot of laughs, especially like the ending part with Mr. Paxton where he's just yelling nonsense.
Oh, it's amazing.
Top tier. In terms of, is like the acting good? No. Is the writing good? Not really. Is the directing good? Kind of. For the piece
I don't know.
that they were handed, I feel
you're
like.
all a problem.
Anywho.
Sir.
That's that. Randy, you want to come here? You want to help me do the closing line? Well,
Want to help me do the closing line?
yeah, you want to come over? Oh, she's 24 pounds. Don't fat shame my dog.
Don't fat shame my dog.
Look at that tail go. Are you wagging? Look at you, Christmas puppy.
All right. Ready? Say hi to them. Say thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And no matter where you are, no matter what time it is, no matter what day it is, no matter how cute and sweet and perfect you are, because you're just the sweetest little thing, have a very Merry Christmas. Okay, you can go. I love you. Okay, goodbye. Oh, she hated that.
She hates most things.